golf, John Daly. I guess it's something with the names John or whatever. You don't have to be the greatest athlete, you know. And there's a lot of big players in football, offensive linemen, sloppy types like Tony Saragusa when he played, cats like that. You know, Ted Washington, guys like that. But those guys are cat quick and great athletes. When there's predetermined outcomes, as in wrestling, and when some of your biggest stars look like they have never ran a lap in their life, never done a suicide, never bench press one time, did a squat or anything in their life, like the great Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Even though I love Dusty Rhodes did not even have the appearance of an athlete. God bless his soul. Dusty Rhodes is dead, right? I think Dusty Rhodes is dead, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I think the great Dusty Rhodes passed away a couple years ago. So Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Abdullah the Butcher, not only is the sport and the winners and losers predetermined, and they basically wrestle off of a script, but its athletes, its participants are grossly, a lot of times, out of shape. Now, they do have a lot of cats on steroids or whatever, man, but they do have a large amount of their participants that don't look like they've ever worked out before in their life. Now, wait a minute. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I absolutely loved wrestling when I was growing up. One of the worst days of my life went on the playground back in like the 7th grade. This dude was like, man, wrestling is fake. You do know wrestling is fake. It broke my heart, just like finding out about Santa Claus and all of that, whatnot. I do love my wrestling. I did love wrestling big time, and I did say wrestling with an A. I did love my wrestling much like most of my friends and people I grew up with back in the late 70s, early 80s, the same way. But when I found out that it was fake and it was choreographed, man, I'm out. You know, it's interesting to talk about. The little storylines are pretty cool, but come on, bro. You can't have wrestling as your number one sport when the NFL and college football is out there. How dare you, sir? Let me read more messages in the chat on Spreaker.com. One quick more thought on Lonzo Ball and working out for the L.A. Lakers. I think that's going to happen. I've said that before. Number 2 pick in the draft. He doesn't want to play for the Boston Celtics. If I were the Boston Celtics, just like what happened with Kobe Bryant and the whole Charlotte Hornets and Laker thing, if Boston feels like that this ball kid is going to be the next big thing, I'd take him. I mean, he'll be disgruntled, but hell, he'll play. He want to make his money. He want to be in a position to make a big, deal his next time around. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, the wild card is if the Boston Celtics, with the number 1 pick, decide to take him. Even though he's not going to work out for him, it's going to be interesting. Like, I really think the Lakers feel, just like I do, that this kid got a lot of showtime in him, talking about Lonzo Ball, and that he's the future. He could be the future of Showtime back in L.A. So we'll see. Going to be a very interesting NFL or NBA draft this year. Call up. Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
What's going on, man? It's Key C.
Key C, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm good.
So this is my manager. My man Kesey, man, I did tell you several times, man, appreciate the little campaign to get your boy on radio, man. It seems to have worked greatly. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. All right, now about your athleticism and wrestling, I had to say that I'm going to put that as my top 5 sports. I didn't do that. But as far as the guys that are out of shape, that's old school, man. None of the new school guys are like that. Right. Everybody's smaller and athletic and flipping all the way off the top rope onto the ground and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, so
it's a whole different world now.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't watch the WWE, which is obviously the big thing. I don't watch it. I watch it every once in a while, but usually I'm watching something else. But yeah, it's different, kind of like running backs back in the day and running backs now. Most of these guys are are juiced up on something. You know, you really don't see a lot of guys that really didn't have any athletic talent about themselves like back in the day. You're right about that.
That is true. Now, my purpose of calling in here is, I gotta come make a business call up in here. So, we know you're going on tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
We gotta get our big tune-in campaign going, man. You see, we understand that you have a listenership, you know what I'm saying, nationwide. So when you're on the radio, we're gonna have a huge support and get everybody on the TuneIn Radio app to show that you got that nationwide push.
Okay, so you got a hashtag or something? So Kesey's saying some type of Twitter campaign to help support me tomorrow night as I do the show on 92.9. You got a hashtag or something you want to throw out there?
Hey, man, I'm going to do it. Hey, I'm simulcasting at the same time. When you go on tomorrow, my show will be your show.
Okay,
so,
that's what's up.
That's right. We're going to be a Spreaker. We're going to be a TuneIn. We're going to be everywhere.
Man, that's what's up, Kesey, brother. I appreciate you, man. And once again, you can listen if you're not in Metro Atlanta tomorrow night and Friday night from 7 to 11 p.m. on 92.9. You can listen online on the TuneIn app. All right, so just go to your app store and it's TuneIn, all one word. And check out 92.9 The Game tomorrow night.
That's right.
That's what's up. Hey, Kesey, appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro.
There he is, my man Kesey with the Kicking It with Kesey show. That's my man, $100,000. Right. Sidney Kalunda from Ninjaville. He says, when we were kids, we would play country baseball. It was a combination of baseball and dodgeball. If you hit the ball and ran to the base, defenders would throw the ball at you. And if you got hit, you were out. We use a tennis ball, though. There goes the crux of the matter. Use a tennis ball. So I always talk about my cousin, Spencer Steve Scott. Steve actually is the owner of Southern Edge Beverage Company. With the vodka-infused sweet tea, where you can check out by going to sunsetcorners.com and searching Southern Edge Sweet Tea. But I always talk about me and my brother used to have these daily, weekly battles with my cousin Spencer Steve Scott. And Spencer's 1 year older than me, and Steve and my brother are the exact age. They're in the same grade. I graduated in 88. Spence graduated in 87, so a year older than me. And something we used to do, not only do we have these wrestling matches, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, in which they whooped our ass over and over and over again. But we also had this thing we call bat over ball. And maybe you may have played this type of game in some other version with another name or whatever where you're from when you were growing up. But basically it was engineered, geared towards, just, a small amount of people playing. And so we use an axe handle and a tennis ball. And so we'd have a pitcher and you'd have the other brother in the outfield, and the one pitcher would throw the ball, and if you got a hit, you drop the bat right there, once again, which was an axe handle. If you know how an axe handle it is, it's kind of flat, so you can really get into a tennis ball. We just hit the ball a country mile. And so when we get a hit, we drop the bat down in its place, and we had these bases set up just like a regular baseball diamond. We'd run the bases, and home plate was the bat. And so within the time that you'd run around the bases, if you scored, that's a run. And so we had runs in games where it'd be, 15 to 20. But yeah, we did that type of thing growing up too as well. From Jam Loves Isaac Ray, Chief Rocker, you told the truth, bruh, about marriage. From Morning Folk, people still talking about the Chief Rocker, Vern from Jersey's sex show the other night. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the Stewies to cast to have their own show on the network to kind of give me a synopsis of what they're planning to talk about. Because Chief called me and says, listen, I want to do my show during your time slot on Monday when we were off. And I didn't think no more about it. I thought he was going to talk about sports. That's what he does. He's the Chief Rocker, Uncle Vern. Come to find out that Chief Rocker did a whole show on sex and freaky shit. So we might have to get shows, signed off on going forward. From Sidney Kalunda from Ninjaville, dude driving with his head out the window like Ace Ventura. Yeah, the caller that we just had on, please, if you call the show, we've been doing this long enough, you should know this. If you call the show, make sure, if you're driving in your car, make sure your window's up, because if you don't, it'll sound just like the last call. And also, turn down your radio. However you're listening to the show, turn it down, your interweb or whatever. From DJ Dollars and Cents, Bryce took out Baseman with his helmet throw, laugh out loud. Yeah, what was that all about? When Bryce Harper charged the mound in this fight the other night, he took off his helmet and threw it supposedly at Strickland, but threw it to the side. He threw it to first base. What was that all about? That was crazy. From Sluggo, turn your ass around, the last caller. From Gary G. Money Joyner, no way. Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey, Loretta's sister. Chief's in the chat room now. From Dobby Hell, some pro sports have predetermined outcomes. Laugh out loud. No. Don't start with Ninja up in here today talking about basketball is fixed or whatever. From JY3, I thought Dusty Rhodes played tackle for the Falcons. Dusty Rhodes did play college football, I believe. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show? Let me see if I can find it real quick here. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I think Dusty Rhodes. No, you know who you're thinking about? Oh, you're right. After graduating high school, Dusty Rhodes played football for West Texas State, now known as West Texas A&M University. Turning professional, Rhodes tried out for the American Football League's Boston Patriots, but was cut. He then played for the Hartford Charter Oaks and the Continental Football League until the team folded. You know who else played? Speaking of bad wrestling athletic bodies, the great Wahoo McDaniel played pro football too. You'll listen to the Doug Stewart Show. And that's what they basically used to do back in the day. They still do to a degree. Like The Rock played college football at the University of Miami. I don't think The Rock played in the NFL or anything like that. So you just get a big football playing dude, give him a nickname, give him a fun little, cute little, thing that he does, and you're a wrestler. And a lot of those cats came through like that. So old school is Wahoo McDaniel. Like a young person watching wrestling now may have never even heard the name. Wahoo been gone and dead a long, long time. But Wahoo McDaniel was one of my favorites. And yes, probably politically incorrect for 2017. But back in 1979, it was A-OK. Yeah. The great Wahoo McDaniel. Look him up. You could probably go to YouTube if you're a greenhorn. You could probably go to YouTube and find some footage of the great Wahoo McDaniel. He had the big Indian headdress, and he did a little Indian dance at the start of each match. Now that I think about it, very, very politically incorrect. But Wahoo McDaniel's college career, he played at Oklahoma. That's right. Played linebacker for Oklahoma. And then he played in the AFL's Houston Oilers and for the Denver Broncos. I didn't know Wahoo was that accomplished in football. Look him up, man. Do yourself a favor. The great Wahoo McDaniel. Hey, we're going to take a quick little break and then back with some entertainment. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Blood up on the wall, can you see it? As the people fall from an AK-47, spraying down the hall. Oh, this screaming, this act is so inhuman. This must be living in the night.